club.
Straight into the ban phase, of course. SiNister will be on the defense first, so they will have the first offensive ban. I'm expecting to see pretty similar bans to what we saw on the last map. Probably a Jackal could be on the cards as well. SiNister taking their time, the full 10 seconds, and it will be a Capitao. So we saw Capitao as well on the last map.
Yeah, Capitao was banned by Fury last time, but yeah, SiNister banned it this time. It's actually a bit of a departure from what SiNister banned last week. They banned IQ and Echo when they played Cryptic here. And last time we saw Club, it was Fury got rid of Maverick, so a very staple ban for this map, and they'll continue to do that this time around. I expect that we won't see both Echo and Maestro get through. And with Fury, they get the first defensive ban. They can kind of set that stage and then put the onus onto SiNister. All right, no.
That's interesting. Fury taking Mirror off the board. Mirror, an operator we don't typically see a lot of on Clubhouse in some very specific positions. Normally not too hard to counter. So maybe Fury just aren't confident in being able to take that out. Maybe maybe SiNister, you know, have something in their back pocket with Mirror that Fury have detected, but it'll be off the board.
It's so weird because I'm looking at a lot of the results that I have recently. Fury haven't been banning Mirror very much, but SiNister have. SiNister banned Mirror all the damn time. And so maybe this is Fury doing SiNister a favor, or maybe not. We'll see. SiNister gets rid of Echo as the final ban. So Maestro is still on the table. Cade is still on the table. Bandit is still on the table. These are all very high impact operators that the defense have and can utilize here on Clubhouse.
And Fury bringing an operator lineup to try and counter that. But the key thing is SiNister won't actually be going upstairs here. Instead, opting to go to the basement objective, Church and Arsenal room, of course. And a relatively interesting lineup. The 6-pick onto the Cade there. A nice pick, I like that. Probably going to be used to counter the hatch and kitchen and possibly even the main wall behind the bar.
That said, Thatcher is in play, so it's possible the Thatcher can counter those Cade charges. But if an attacking team isn't so vigilant on their coordination between the Thatcher and the various hard breaches, we can definitely see them punished. So it'll come down to how Fury play that one. Nonetheless, downstairs is not what we most of the time see as a first primary defensive choice. Usually it's Cash, but I feel like that doesn't really matter that much because downstairs is just as good as Cash, if not better sometimes. So really it's just a game of preference, and Fury have surely got to be prepared regardless of what objective it is.
5 seconds left before insertion.
We see Cade here, missed using that shotgun to full effect, making rotates as well as holes to be able to impact trick the hatch later on in the round. So that shotgun could be quite impactful. Smoke as well with the shotgun in hand, so a lot of remodeling going on the side of SiNister. Obviously some pre-planned setups, and hopefully that can counter Fury as they get above control and try and open that hatch. Of course, Maverick is off the board, so they can only open the hatch with Habana pallets or thermite charges, both of which can be taken out by impact grenades.
Interesting choice from SiNister here to actually completely barricade off of the dirt tunnel. The Flex is going to open that nice and early with a thermite charge. Now, SiNister will have a little bit of warning if Fury try to push through that because there is a goo mine down inside of the dirt tunnel and also that barricade. But now it's up to Rock to open up this hatch. Putting the Habana pellets down. Oh, but it's going to get tricked, surely, by the Cade charge. No! There was a grenade or something that got rid of that Cade charge. Maybe a Thatcher EMP. So there is 3 Habana pellets that detonate on the hatch. Now, the hatch requires 4 pellets to detonate in order to fully break. So Rock will have to dedicate an entire another shot from his ex-Kairos to get that hatch open.
Whether or not Rock decides to utilize that utility, we'll have to wait and see. It's likely that they will try and open this hatch here, as we see Golden as well, getting a lot of verticality going. And there we go. They're going to try and Thatcher out that Cade. Mist doesn't have another Electro Claw in his inventory, so there we go. The hatch will be opened successfully by Rock. And now Fury can start getting something going here. SiNister feeling the pump a little bit. They're forced back into these positions, back towards Arsenal, Nico, and Mist. Neither of them wanting to contest that angle that has now been generated from the hatch, and probably a safe play to do so.
Flex actually getting quite aggressive down here in Dirty as the diffuser as well. You don't usually want your dirt player to have the diffuser because they're really for cutting off rotations rather than getting in and getting that plant down. but all of the hard breach utility from both teams has been expended, so this will have to be really an armory push rather than a church push, as they don't have any hard breach to deploy on the church wall.
Yeah, so interesting that Flex has the diffuser in hand here. If he drops, and it drops right at the dirt tunnel door here, that's going to be so hard for the Fury members to try and pick back up. Flex, his position is completely known now. He's firing out shots, not connecting any. And with 30 seconds to go, they need something going. Flex just misses the head there of Nico, eventually gets dropped. A very big misplay here from Fury. That diffuser now down. He will be finished off by Mist, and it's a 4 versus 4. Make that a 3 versus 4. Mist manages to get a double. A nice headshot with a shotgun onto Golden. Rock manages to recover the diffuser, but the Fury members now need to try and cover with 15 seconds to go. Such a hard entry here through the door. He misses the shot. Mist gets the triple, finally gets traded out. It's a 1 versus 3 as Shade makes his way in through Arsenal, but he doesn't have the diffuser in hand. Time not on his side. And SiNister, after 4 straight round losses on the last map, will finally pick something up here on Clubhouse.
SiNister looking at home here on the defense, and they started off well. As you said, they lost 4 straight rounds when they were defending on the previous map on Coastline, and thankfully for them, Clubhouse is a completely different kettle of fish on the defensive half. We talk about what went wrong for Fury there. Of course, there was what we highlighted about the diffuser being carried by Flex in Dirt Tunnel. That I wouldn't pin the whole round on that. But it was a bit of frustrating to see that happen to Fury. What ideally I would have liked to see is Fury needed to, one, dislodge some of those key positions. The one of them was behind the armory case near the AK rack, and the other one was on that green box that near the connection between armory and blue. And that was where Mist got 3 or 4 kills. That was hugely impactful for SiNister, and Fury needed to disable those positions, and I think they needed to drop the hatch, honestly. I think we needed to see them either go from the hatch or from the main stairs into Armory, because trying to really use that dirt angle, it didn't work out. And that TCSG slug shotgun that Mist was wielding proved to be far too powerful in his hands for Fury to overcome.
Yeah, that play from Dirt is one we often see come late in the round, normally with a 3-speed to be able to swing wide and get kills on known positions, but instead having the diffuser in the hand of Flex there, put him under enough pressure to only half peak angles, not really dedicate to it fully, and it cost them in the end. However, now we will see SiNister to the more common, I guess, bomb site in Cache and CCTV upstairs here on Clubhouse. Fury, though, should be able to get that main wall open. Such a critical part of this objective. They have 2 hard breaches in hand, as well as Thatcher, and even Zofia, who is commonly now used to try and counter any sort of bandit trick. SiNister, though, won't be bringing bandit. He is on the board, but instead electing to go the Cade.
Yeah, and the bandit trick is something that's fallen a little bit out of meta on this bomb site because of the use of the Zofia trick to counter it. So we will see the Cade deployed from below. It does seep through and have that electric effect on the remaining reinforced part of the wall, but that's not really going to have much of an effect on Fury for the rest of their attack.
Yeah, Mist seemingly a little bit late there placing the charge. It does take a little bit to deploy, and unfortunately didn't get the intel in time to place it early. So Fury now in an incredibly advantageous position. 1 minute into the round, and not only have they gotten the main wall open, but now they will try and get the garage open, but it's actually been tricked there with an impact grenade as Golden gets Copper. So Copper not having the best of times here on the Jaeger, unfortunately. And that's going to be a lot of gunpowder on the side of SiNister taken out.
Yeah, and a huge up for Fury is that they have now cleared out... Oh no, they've cleared out top garage, but not bottom garage. They still have to deal with that Cade downstairs. And that's really where I believe the problem will be fronting Fury. A lot of presence downstairs, and if they're not careful, that will come back to bite them in the bud. Garage control tends to be so essential for this bomb site. Mist has been so good this game. Gets another kill for himself, holding in garage. And unfortunately, Fury do lose a player to that disconnect as well.
That will make it a 3 versus 4. Mist was in a very sneaky position there inside of garage. Manages to pick up Rock. So although he missed that Electroclaw on the main wall, he's making up for it with frags. Water, meanwhile, sneaking in towards Cache. Sees the gun there of Nico. He tries to pre-fire around the corner. Warden hits a couple shots, not enough to down him. And there we go. Warden and Golden, the last 2 left. Warden left with it all to do as Mist secures the triple, and things not looking great here for Fury as they try and salvage the round.
1 versus 4 for Warden. Mist has been so good this round so far. Surely he cleans up the last one as well. Just the cherry on the cake. Warden is the last one remaining. Mist isn't getting overzealous with it, but Warden does find his head. It's a 1 versus 3 now. Still not really doable. What can SiNister come out with? And there you go, another round win here on this defensive cache.
Yeah, decent performance there from SiNister. Luna cleaning up with the final kill. And Mist coming in today and managing to clean up quite well there on the second round. That shotgun can be quite difficult to use, but he's proved that he is quite efficient with it, both in round 1 and number 2.
Yeah. Huge impact kills, and also impact plays, not just the kills, but that impact grenade to destroy the thermite charge on the garage wall. If that thermite charge had been allowed to detonate, he wouldn't have been able to play garage anymore. And he would have had to fall back, and he consistently got more and more kills from that position, thanks to him protecting that reinforced wall with the impact grenade. So can't discredit that. It's not just tapping heads that makes the difference, it's also the use of utility, to which Mist has been doing a really good job, ticking all the boxes.
Attackers need to locate and
He has so far. So we will be in round number 3 now, of course. SiNister have won 2 successful defenses in a row, so they'll go to their 3rd favoured bomb site, which of course will be Bedroom Bar. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that. The team's opting not to go there in most cases, as it is the 4th site. And SiNister here looking to extend the site out to cache a hold that we have often seen. We can see Luna now reverse reinforcing the wall so they'll be able to impact trick it even easier. There is a little trick where if you reinforce it from inside, you can actually soft breach the outside of the wall, place the thermite charge inside of that, and it can be a lot harder to actually impact trick the utility.
It's not impossible, but it was something I believe we first saw in BR6 from some of the Latin American teams. Cheeky little tricks that they've invented. But yes, as you mentioned, there is a bit of a cache hold. It's Luna at the moment over there. Nico's interestingly used both of his impact grenades. I would have thought he'd be using those to trick that wall, but at the moment he seems fascinated with this hatch. Has he got some trick up his sleeve? An aggressive peek? No, not yet. Losing the Maestro this early would be really detrimental. I believe he does take out that drone. So that's 1 kill for him. Oh, sorry, one little helpful bit of work done from him. There is a drone still up there. I'm not sure if he did actually pop that shot before. And that external wall of Jacuzzi's opened really early without that much contest. Great job from Fury.
Yeah, Mist electing not to try and bandit trick that wall, but he gets a kill there onto Flex, so Thermite off the board. That means he won't be able to rotate back over towards Cash and get anything going on that side. So now Fury have to basically dedicate all their manpower now over to this gym side of the objective. SiNister, if they are aware of that fact, they should be rotating now outside of Cash. They'll have pretty good control of that area. Construction, such a choke point, should be pretty easy to hold, but Warden has progressed towards the site. A Claymore will go down to cover his back. And it looks like Fury, despite losing that hard breach, is still in a decent position to take this round. Copper taking out Warden, though. Was that a one-tap?
Yeah, I think it might have been all the way from inside of dirt, a couple punch holes in the wall, and then just a cheeky little one-tap or spray. Find his head. That's 2 players who have died on the Jacuzzi balcony, and I believe the diffuser fell down, which means Fury will have to go and pick it up again. Only 3 players left for them. They had taken really good ground, but suddenly they've hit that brick wall now. And even if they tried to get aggressive, take control of site, SiNister has that numbers advantage, which means they're going to be in favor if it comes down to that refrag game.
A minute left on the board. Fury still yet to recover the diffuser that was dropped earlier in the round. They'll have to go collect that before it's too late. And they forget. Shade Mimel drops inside of Logi. He progresses quite aggressively. No one aware of his position. He gets 1. Copper gets Rock in the meantime. It's a 1 versus 4 as Nico secures a kill as well. So Golden has finally collected that diffuser, but not in a position to hit any refrags as he did so. So now he will be forced to push inside of Jim. Shoots through the connecting wall. Won't connect a shot though, and things not looking great. He gets a really nice flick there onto Luna, using the AirCog to full effect, but unaware of these player positions. The AirCog as well, blocking his vision to the left here significantly, so he needs to try and hit some nice pre-fires to have any chance of securing this. But things not looking favourable. Barbed wire as well on his way, slowing him down. And SiNister, they're quite content in just sitting here. They're not going to peek Golden. Nothing in it for them. They have time on their side, though. Copper will get aggressive. Another player is like getting aggressive as well. The shotgun, and Golden manages to drop him. SiNister, what are you doing? Just play passive. They will secure the round. But 2 kills at the end there. Just the SiNister jitters, Dev. What is going on? Why are they peeking?
I mean, like, at that point, it was really unlikely they were going to lose that round, but it doesn't need to be done, man. They don't need to peek that. They really don't. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. They win the round, as you said, and they're going to go to church. So it's been a full set of 3. I like to call it around the world. It's not quite because we haven't seen Bar yet, but SiNister have defended the 3 bomb sites that they need to. And all you need to do now is just loop that one more time, and you've got a flawless half. It's quite a contrast to what we saw with the first match. Or the first map, rather, of this matchup with Coastline Fury. I mean, it was neck and neck when Fury were on the defense. As soon as Fury flipped over to the attack, SiNister didn't get anything. And we're not seeing that at all here. Fury are struggling on their attack. I mean, of course, Clubhouse is a very different beast. Attacking Clubhouse, very different to attacking on Coastline. But this time around, it is SiNister who are taking that lead. And it's certainly something that I think could help spearhead that momentum. We talked about how much the momentum can have an impact for SiNister.
Yeah, SiNister looking like they've been able to come back from that map number 1. They haven't let it affect them too much. Of course, they are on defense, and it is Clubhouse, so it is a favorable position. But being able to win 3 unique sites in a row is no mean feat. So I'm sure they'll be content with that so far. They need to just keep the momentum rolling, though. Once Fury start getting rounds back on SiNister, that's going to be the real challenge. That's going to be the real test of their mental fortitude. If Fury start getting back into this game, SiNister, they need to hold that confidence. They've looked confident so far, but we know that sometimes that can disappear. Shade, meanwhile, getting aggressive, drops Blue. The flash will momentarily make his screen wide. He gets quite aggressive. No one inside of Blue, no utility. Mist, fortunately, gets the kill. That could have been super messy. Doesn't follow it up with the second, and Rock will secure that one. It's a 4 versus 4. Fury have control of Blue, and SiNister completely unaware as Warden gets vicious. And there we go. Rock's already made his way inside of Arsenal. Where are these SiNister players? They appear to be off-site. One inside Armor at the moment. And there we go. Rock managing to drop that player. Leaving it all up to Luna and Nico. It's a 3 versus 2 effectively. Oh, from
clever.
above. Nico drops Rock. But it will be a 2 versus 2. Luna and Nico left with it all to do. But there are 2 minutes on the board, Dev. Lots of time to play with here.
Yeah, only 1 minute's gone down. And Fury looked at this SiNister heavy roam. Even the hatches were opened by SiNister, so they made those rotations downstairs. But Fury decided to target the bomb site, and it worked out well for them partially. Fury don't have the diffuser yet on the ground, and they're still retaking. SiNister have a perfect pinch opportunity now if they can locate these Fury players. Oh, that's a nice little impact grenade, and Luna has 1 left as well to make an opening for herself. Both of the Fury players have taken very, very low on HP, and surely this is the round for SiNister. Nico finds one. It's a long-range angle, but now it's a 1 versus 1. Surely the SMG-12 isn't the play here. And Warden gets the shot! How does he make it happen? L85 just too good in this scenario. Warden, a 1 versus 2 clutch.
Fury should not have won that. Their HP was so low. They had the intel on that final player, but it wasn't enough. Warden coming out strong there. Finally will secure the first of Fury's round wins on the attack. And SiNister would be a little bit shaky after that one. A winnable round, no doubt. Unfortunately, they weren't able to secure the deal.
It was a nice idea from SiNister going for that heavy roam. It's something we've seen teams do in the past, including SiNister, but it really didn't work out. I like that Fury looked at the situation. They decided, no, let's just push it downstairs really fast. But that wasn't the end of the story, because SiNister absolutely met them with contention. They found the opening frag and moved forward from there. Really, it just came down to, after the entire round, it just came down to 2 players from Fury having to step up in that unenviable situation downstairs, and Warden made it happen.
Warden, of course, a player with a lot of pro experience. One of the most experienced players in the region, in fact. So he won't let the pressure affect him too much. He's been in these situations before. he'll be able to just steady himself, and of course in that round he did so. Able to secure their first round win, and Fury now need to try and steamroll this momentum a little bit.
Warden is definitely the most experienced Pro League player in this entire matchup right now. Fury are, as a team, a newer team than SiNister, but they have a lot of OGs on the squad. Warden has played every single season of Pro League on various teams. He's played a lot of LAN events as well, multiple LAN events, including APAC finals. He's played at 2 of those. He's played at, with Fury at 2 LAN events now as well.
We'll be on the Thatcher at the moment as Flex comes over to try and assist in getting the wall open. So Thermite and Thatcher, a combo that is so commonly seen in Siege from the very first day the game was released. Thatcher will throw out one of those EMP grenades, and Flex now should be able to come in and get the wall, followed up with some Hibana charges to make things a little bit more challenging. Missed from below, though, could hit the juggle of the claw, and it's successful. There we go. That is a lot of utility taken off the board here for Fury. A set of X-Kairos and a Thermite charge. Could this be a recoverable position for Fury? They're going to go for it again. Will it be unsuccessful? The EMP will go out straight away. Where's Mist? Is he below? He's not under pressure, but he's unable to successfully stop that charge from going off. Not too bad in the end for Fury. A little bit messy, but the wall is open.
Double trouble for Mist. He finds 2 bits of hard breach. You very rarely see that with a Cade charge. Really nice job so far. And yes, the wall was open, but it really restricts what Fury is able to open with the rest of their hard breach. They have that last X-Kairos pellet. I'm not sure if it was last. They might have one more. There you go. So they have one set of Hex Kairos that they can still use on the construction wall. But Garage still isn't clear, so they don't have any more hard breach they can utilize there. Really good start to this round by SiNister. They still have this Garage control as well. Fury will have to take the next steps from here.
Yeah, I really like this control established below from SiNister. Luna, no doubt, has a C4 in hand as well, so that's going to be handy in denying the plant. And with a minute to go, Fury probably don't have the opportunity to actually go down and clear them out, so they're going to have to take their chances and try and spearhead the side. And it looks like they will do that from this construction side. Shade on the sledge running the L85 with the ACOG. Could get some nice angles here in towards the cache room, but SiNister aren't giving them much at the moment. They're playing quite passive. Nico will get Shade off the board, so there we go. That sledge is now taken out. And Nico on the Maestro in this position, so powerful as some smoke grenades are going out. Vicious trying to push them back. Luna will get one onto Warden. And now it's left up to 3 members of Fury to clutch this out. Flex trying to get through this double wall, but he just can't. Vicious with another smoke grenade pushing them back. And things not looking great here as Nico will secure his second and a third. 2 headshots in a row. Flexo is having none of it. He tries to get the clutch going. He'll start that off with Vicious taken off the board, but Nico trying to secure another kill, and there we go. Nico popping off there from construction, and SiNister keeping the momentum on their side.
That downstairs defense was just a blip in the game for SiNister. They keep making their moves around. Next in line is going to be a retry of Bedroom, where they previously won in the final round of their defensive half. A 5-1 here would be really difficult for Fury to come back from. I mean, this map and ban phase are defensive favored, but honestly, I think Fury going to the second half looking at a 1-5, that's something that's very difficult to come back from.
Yeah, and I think that's where the players like Warden, for example, with all that experience, need to step up. If they do end up going 5-1 down, he's the type of player that just needs to reset the team's mindset. He just needs to remind them that, of course, it's very defensive-sided with these bans, with the map, and just sort of reset their mentality. If SiNister, who are evenly matched to them, are able to go 5-1 up, there's nothing stopping Fury from coming back and doing the same. They do have the scoreline against them, but there's nothing stopping them from following that up as well. So we'll see SiNister now defending over on this Bedroom side of the map, expecting them to extend it over towards Cache once again. And there we go, Copper going to reinforce the CCTV. So SiNister seem to be sticking to their guns here, Dev.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, and I think it'll work out for them. I mean, it's looked really good so far for SiNister. Fury did have a nice first step last time they attacked this bomb site. They got control of that jacuzzi wall nice and early, but there's a lot more to do for them. SiNister going to slightly change up what they're doing with the castle being utilized. Also a bandit. It looks like it's going to be a bandit trick of the cache wall. That's, sorry, the CCTV wall. That's really uncommon. On this bomb site, that is. I mean, it's super common on when you're defending cache as the bomb site, but not here. That might throw a spanner in the works for Fury.
Potentially, but Shade there. A very quick entry onto Copper, and Copper not having the best of times so far. A couple times now on that Jaeger being dropped as the first frag. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully he's already placed those ADS devices. And it looks like he's actually been wallbanged through the window there, so that's going to be a bit tilting for Copper.
Could have been an aggressive peek. I wouldn't put it past Copper.
Yeah, maybe. Nonetheless, he's off the board, so hopefully those ADS devices have been placed and some utility will be provided. Warden sussing things out. Sees the shield there on the Logi door, one I haven't seen before. Could allow for SiNister to try and hold that angle in towards the main wall a bit more efficiently. And here we go, Flex watching that angle from the dirt tunnel. We saw that be successful in their previous defense, but on this occasion, no one will be playing that position. That's going to allow Flex now to run towards that bathroom wall. He'll get it open, and Fury ready now to try and get something going. This could potentially work. SiNister investing a lot on the other side of the map. If Fury can get in here and cover that construction rotate, they could be in a lot of trouble.
Especially because Fury have that numbers advantage. SiNister won't really be able to overwhelm Fury. Even if they have one player planting, it'll still be a 4 versus 4 effectively for Fury. They do have those numbers. Warden's on the peak now. Drone came out, got some information. I think Nico's position was revealed. Warden's just playing patiently. Vicious will put a stop to this progress with a smoke grenade, but it's only a matter of time, and time Fury have plenty of at the moment. Still a whole minute to go. And Rock playing on these windows as well. Mist is below and playing the bandit. He likely has a C4, so if there is information... Okay, he doesn't have a C4, so he's really only going to be able to be effective through that window. And another good peek there for Luna. 3 versus 4. SiNister still on the back foot.
Make that a 4 versus 2 as Warden gets a nice headshot. Flex has found his way into sight here. He needs to try and initiate a plant. They need to force Luna and Mist back towards the site. Luna... not a great position. You want to be rotating through construction. Quite vulnerable in that instance. Mist tries to make his way up the metal stairs here. But once again, met with many angles to contest as well. And there we go. Both will be dropped off the board quite easily. And Fury will take the last round of the half.
It was slow and steady wins the race that round for Fury. They just did step 1, they did step 2. And SiNister never... took the fight to Fury. There was never a moment where Fury had to brace themselves and take a punch. It was just Fury playing their game. And, well, you can only read into it so much, right? It's the end of that half now for Fury and SiNister. I was about to say Finister. Man, tongue twister. SiNister had a really good defensive half, but now that we look at it as a 4-2, you know, that was a 3-0 at one point, and that looked really good. 4-2 doesn't look quite so advantageous, especially since we've been pushing the issue that this is a defensive-favored map with these operator bans. And 4-2, that's only slightly defensive-favored for a half. That is as close to equal as you can get without actually being equal.
Yeah, SiNister, I think, will be content with how the rounds played out. They probably would have preferred to be up by at least one more round, considering they did win 3 rounds straight. Off the bat. But what's done is done. SiNister now, they need to get in an attacking mindset. Leave that behind them. They haven't been defending now for 10 rounds. So that could take them a little bit now to get into that attacking mindset.
That's true. Because we did go straight off of the first game into this one. With SiNister stayed on the same side. But yeah, for Fury... I think this is totally a winnable situation, right? They won map number 1 7-3, so they can't have the same scoreline here. But I definitely think this is still winnable for Fury. 4 points on the defense isn't enough for me to say that SiNister have really guaranteed themselves even a draw here, because Fury have a 1-round buffer. Like they only need to win 5 more rounds, and that sounds like a lot. But 5 out of the next 6 to get a win, 4 out of the next 6 to get a draw. That's totally doable when they're on their defensive side. Anyhow, they do start downstairs, as did SiNister. SiNister are going to get map control really fast because they have that Jackal. They don't have to drone everything. They can just check for prints. And yeah, I guess it'll... Oh, it's a bit of a fail by Golden, shooting his own ADS. But I think that's going to come down a lot to how SiNister can hard counter the setup that Fury have downstairs here.
Yeah, Fury opting for more of a traditional setup here. Very safe. All 5 members will be below. SiNister will be forced into the traps that they have set. Fury electing to hold blue here. Golden in that position. Only has one ADS left as he unfortunately shot his first. He could potentially get a shot here onto the top of the blue stairs, but just misses the pixel there. The ADS did save him from being stunned as well. So holding this position, he has been droned out. Tries to pre-fire Oil Pit as Rock. Gets a C4 there onto the Jackal, so no more scans will be coming out on the side of the attack. And SiNister could find it a little bit more challenging now to find intel. Doesn't look like they have the confidence to drop just yet. Halfway through the round, Copper will send a drone out here. But look, no one's willing to drop. They're all just playing passive. They're all waiting. Vicious looking to get this main wall open by the looks of things.
And that castle barricade does make it a bit awkward for Vicious to drop down. He will be slightly protected from that main hallway, but I think we need to see SiNister start to use their utility and disable some of those castle barricades on the front side. Luna trying to push up blue. There's another piece of barbed wire to contend with, potentially Legion Mines as well. She's not quite sure. She'll continue to prone up the hallway. Blue was cleared earlier by those flashbangs, but SiNister still have the numbers disadvantage. And time is running out for them as well. Luna waiting patiently. All of SiNister starting to push up here, but they haven't got a main entrance onto the bomb site. They don't have the church wall open yet either, and there's only 30 seconds left to take this bomb site away from Fury.
So many angles for Fury to watch, but there we go. They're successful, and it's a 5 versus 2. Vicious and Mist left with it all to do, but Fury clean it up. A flawless round for round number 7, and not the ideal start that SiNister would have wanted.
But it does take a little bit of time to warm up on your attacking half. At least you'd expect so here. SiNister won 3 in a row when they're on the defense, and I think this is just good from Fury so far. This isn't great. It's just this is what you need to do if you want to stay in the game. Now it's a 3-4 scoreline at the moment. Suddenly this really changes the situation. 2-4, that's starting to look close, but 3-4, no, this is very much an even game. Fury are on an upwards trajectory right now that they're on their defensive half. Running with that momentum can certainly be essential for the rest of this one. SiNister need to step up, get that confidence back, and start to really hard counter what Fury are doing. If we want to see SiNister really close out here. Of course, they lost map number 1. SiNister did. And I think losing here pretty much guarantees that they're going to stay in that 7th place and head down to Challenger League. Of course, both of these teams still have matches tomorrow night. Oddity will be Fury's opponent, and Fnatic is who SiNister will have to play. So probably unfavored in both of those matches, these teams. So really, they need to rack up their points here.
Yeah, definitely the case. And as the scoreline starts to get closer, the pressure on SiNister begins to grow more and more. Ideally, they need a map win here, really, to keep their chances alive. So that's what they'll be pushing for. Of course, any team would be happy with a win, but they really don't want to settle for a draw. In some cases, in Pro League, teams will sometimes be like, yeah, draw, that's okay, we'll take that, we'll take the point. But when it's so tight for this relegation, as it is currently, SiNister really can't take that chance. They need to push as hard as possible here and try and secure the 3 points here on map number 2. They will be in cash, though, for their second defense, and nothing too crazy so far. Warden and Shade, though, double stacked on the stairs. That's interesting.
Yeah, if there's anything strange to me from Fury's defense is that they have no one holding Garage whatsoever. They're not even going to try to contest it. That's really uncommon, and if SiNister read into that, they should be able to take control of Garage really fast. But they're probably going to need some hard breach as well, as that entire wall from Garage was reinforced. If SiNister had information, I surely would expect that they wouldn't be taking it this way. The longer that they wait, the more opportunity Fury has to make a rotate into Garage. But they're so preoccupied, so many players from SiNister focusing on denying this bandit trick, getting that main wall open. They do. And now surely Garage is the next step. Someone has to make it happen. It looks like Nico's the one up to the chopping block now. Nico and Copper together. Copper's going to drone it out. Hopefully after this happens, SiNister will very quickly take control and realize, okay, we might actually need some hard breach to open up an entrance into B.
Well, Fury have actually elected to barricade off the garage here from behind, so there really isn't much stopping SiNister from going up the garage stairs here, going for the default plant into CCTV, provided that Fury aren't holding it from below. It doesn't look like they really have much presence there either. So trying to read into the play of Fury here. I'm not exactly sure what they're planning on doing. They've reinforced the wall. Sometimes we'll see a rotate here. So that's to try and cover for this garage push. But Copper's going to open that straight away. And there will be a sound cue for Fury. But whether or not they'll have the processes and the utility in place to deny the plant, that's another question. And it looks like they have some holes on the connecting wall for some smoke grenades.
Yeah, and also Rock is now downstairs in lounge, just directly below the B-bomb site. He has an impact grenade. He can open a hole using that impact grenade and deal some damage onto the default plant spot. So I really would expect a player like Nico has to come downstairs and search for him. Rock is actually prepared for people to be pushing him downstairs. He has goo mines and he's just waiting. Really, SiNister have to clear him out. I like the ideas from SiNister, but this has taken so long. Copper's now going to rotate downstairs. He knows he has to push that player out. But there is a goo mine, as we mentioned earlier. He needs to find this kill. The impact grenade goes off, and Copper finds that essential kill. Nico jumps into it as well. But now the plant's being denied. Vicious does have the diffuser, and he wants to make it happen. It's a 3 versus 3, though. Last 12 seconds come out. Shade needs this C4 to make an impact. 3 versus 3 still, and SiNister aren't getting this diffuser down. Vicious starts it, but it's going to be all the numbers for Fury. He's just missed left, and he doesn't have enough to make it happen for his team. A nice idea for SiNister, but just too late.
The unconventional setup there from Fury paying dividends. SiNister seemingly unaware of how to really try and counter that. They were going for more of the traditional attack if there was someone in garage, but there wasn't. The wall was reinforced, and despite opening it, they didn't really have any ability to spearhead the site. They cleared below, but it was a little bit late, and then the main stairs as well as they tried to push up were covered. So Fury honestly played that really well.
Yeah, honestly, I really feel like if SiNister had just checked garage at the start, realized it was clear, taken garage right at the start of the round, used their hard breach as they did near the end, open up that main wall, and then just waited, cleared below as well, and just have one person go to deny lounge. Just wait. Fury has to use all of their gas babes, all of their smokes. You remove all Fury's information gathering, any Maestro cameras or anything else that they had on site, and then Fury is sitting there on the bomb site thinking they could be planting right now and we don't know. And so they're going to use all of their utility. SiNister would have had so much time to make that happen, but because that process of taking that ground and setting up for that execute took so long, Fury just threw a couple gas babes out, and then by the end of it, SiNister had absolutely no time left to make anything happen. That's when the desperate attempts come out for SiNister, and that's when Fury find all their frags at once.
Yeah, unfortunately for SiNister, the scoreline will now be evened out 4 apiece. So that advantage that they gained on the defense has been completely nullified. And Fury are looking for their third defensive round win in a row. We did see SiNister do that at the beginning of this match. They won their first 3 rounds. Whether or not Fury can replicate that, we will have to wait and see. But looks like Fury are trying to defend construction as opposed to cash.
I like the alibi pick as well, something that we did see come into the meta quite some time ago, especially on this bomb site here. Placing those alibi devices, those prismas on these south-facing windows. Actually, they're not actually placing them on the south-facing windows. They're just placing them in the objective in places where the bottom of the prisma, the stand, can't be shot. I really like this setup. It's going to make it very difficult for SiNister to have any kind of presence from those south windows. And as you mentioned, this is a hard hold inside of construction. So even Shade trying to impact that construction wall. This is something I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah, this is going to be a big test of SiNister's adaptability. If they don't read into this play and work out a quick way to counter it, they could find themselves in a lot of trouble. I do like that they're opening the castle early to try and put some pressure on Fury. But they really need to try and clear out some of these players with impact grenades. Otherwise, it's going to be so hard to get that wall open in towards Cash. Looks like Shade will just hold that position. If he stays alive, he can impact trick that wall and things shouldn't be too hard. But he gets too aggressive on the plant there. Nico takes him out. Not sure why he would have peeked that. And now the rest of the Fury members are going to be under pressure. And that forces Golden back through Logi. And that hold that they had established has basically been taken away now.
Bit too twitchy for Shade, and losing that position, losing those impact grenades to deny that wall absolutely is a huge blow that Fury are going to have to choke up on right now. SiNister, once they drone this out, they'll know how much control they have of the map. They can rotate, open up Jacuzzi wall. And, I mean, when SiNister were defending this bomb site, even after they lost Jacuzzi wall, they did well. But that was only because they had that control of the east side of the map now. Fury have completely forfeited that, and things aren't looking so great for Fury.
Yeah, 3 versus 5 in favor of SiNister, who have begun to progress on towards the site. Rock's dropped off the board, and just like that, it's a 1 versus 5. Warden needs to do it all, but he can't do anything. SiNister with a flawless round on their attack, and unlike their counterparts, they won't be able to take 3 rounds in a row.
That is a huge change here as well. You can't understate how much it makes a difference, SiNister being able to break that momentum for Fury. SiNister did get that early advantage by starting on the defensive side, racking up those 4 wins, and it looks like Fury were going to be able to do the same when they switched onto their defense. And I thought this was still possible for a Fury win here, but now Fury are going to have to win 3 more rounds in a row to take this map outright. And that means that they're going to have to defend every single bomb site or all 3 bomb sites, major bomb sites, including the one that they just failed to defend. Now, SiNister, not only do they have that momentum on the back of that previous round, but they've seen all of Fury's defensives now. And if Fury don't change much, it's going to not take very long for SiNister to start overcoming the setups that Fury had.
Yeah, I think it would be difficult to overstate just how important that last round really was. It's going to set them up really nicely for the remainder of this map. Not only do they have that advantage, that round advantage, but as you mentioned, it stuffs around with Fury's site rotations now. So puts them under the pump a little bit. Fury need to settle their minds and just lock down this basement defense. They were successful in their first attempt. They'll be looking to back that up. They held it quite traditionally the last time. Everyone was sort of turtling on the site to some extent. SiNister took a really long time to push, so if Fury are able to push them back like they did in that round, I'm expecting them to be successful here and even up that scoreline.
A lot of hard breach denials being employed by Fury once again with the Cade. Not sure whether you can use it. Well, they could use that on the hatches if they wanted, or they could use it on that church wall. But another staple of Clubhouse basement defense is this tricking the hatches with impact grenades. Shade is going to be one of the ones to do that. He does still have both of his impact grenades. We also saw Golden, the player in Dirt last time, the Jaeger. He held on for quite a long time. Eventually, SiNister did use their utility to remove all of the ADSs he had, but they didn't actually get that kill before he escaped.
Fury just finishing off the last of their setups, but Copper already trying to foil that. He'll open the hatch inside of stock and will probably make his way over towards bar. It has been electrified. Rock juggling it with the Electro Claw to put some doubt in the minds of SiNister. They will probably force Miss now, who's currently droning, to come over and EMP the hatch, but it's definitely a juggling act. He'll need to time it right here.
And for those who don't really know the interactions here, if you throw 2 EMPs down, then there is no way that the Cade can trick it. So the Cade has to deploy, the second EMP is going to destroy it before it can, and that third EMP is not going to make any difference. What? Wait, what? Wait a second. Where was that from?
Is that
That was
Armory?
Warden all the way through the main stairs, through that hole in the wall. That is insane from Warden. I've never seen that before, but it doesn't work twice. And SiNister do get that hatch open. What a play from Warden. I have never seen that before, but a nice play, a little bit of fanciness can do you something, but it doesn't do you everything. So Fury now 3 versus 4. Rock can find a cheeky kill with a C4 over the reinforcement, but SiNister still have that numbers advantage.
Fury leaving nothing in the strap bank, but unfortunately it is a 3 versus 4 scenario now. A minute left on the board. Golden, though, getting quite aggressive there in blue. Could cut off the player coming down the stairs, and it looks like another one potentially going oil. No. So we're going to see one go down the blue stairs. Golden should have this one shut down, but he's not looking in the right direction. He gets the flick, but he just misses the shot. Luna lucky to scave away from that one, leaving it in a 2 versus 4. Shade will drop her eventually, and it's a 2 versus 3. Make that a 1 versus 3. Shade left with it all to do. SiNister take round number 10. The flashiness of Fury, not quite enough to get them the round. They looked quite strong there for a little bit as they stalled them out, but SiNister able to recover.
That was such a nice play from Warden. I really like that. Hats off to whoever it was from Fury who figured that out. Maybe they saw another team do it in the scrim, or maybe it was one of their players or coaches that spotted that, but I really like that. Really clever stuff, and you could see from the get-go they had invested a lot into that memorial, that Moto area, even a Jaeger device, which I thought that's a bit weird. You know, you don't usually invest so heavily in there. But at the end of the day, right, you can invest and have all these little tricks for one thing, but it doesn't make that much of an impact, right? Unless if you really play around it. And SiNister had these really good entries. They found a lot of picks and worked on the back of that, which put Fury down nice and swiftly. Now SiNister have guaranteed themselves a draw after losing 3-7 to Fury on Coastline. This is looking like a much better position to be in to escape relegation.
SiNister, 1 round away from taking the map and giving themselves a fighting chance of remaining in the ANZ Pro League. If they lose the map, it's looking very likely that they'll be demoted down to the Challenger League. Not exactly where they want to be.
And if they win this, then we have that 3-way tie that I talked about before. Fury, SiNister, and Cryptic all sitting on 7 points going into their matches tomorrow against 3 of the best teams in the region. That'll be, man, that's going to be a sore point for all of these teams.
It could be. It could really come down to which one of these teams can pull off an upset, really.
We at the bottom of the Pro League standings, we have any of these 3 teams, Fury, SiNister, or Cryptic, could be the team relegated. And at the top of the standings, we have any 4 of the teams at the top could make it to APAC finals. And I had not expected that all of those results would come down to the final day of Pro League.
Can't ask for a much closer season than that. Season 10, of course. But SiNister, they're not too worried about the standings at the moment. They just want to take this round. They'll start progressing towards the main wall. Luna on the Zofia will play a critical role in helping to deny any sort of bandit juggle that could come out. But of course, Fury haven't brought the bandit. They haven't even brought a Cade. So there'll be no breach denial from the side of Fury instead. They're just going to allow SiNister to open this wall quite freely.
Yeah, and last round I really thought this was not an easy win, but totally a big opportunity for SiNister, as Fury are once again not holding Garage. I can't state that enough. You're not holding Garage at all on this bomb site. Take control of Garage. If SiNister take control of the Garage, they clear out downstairs in Lounge, they can open up directly into the B bomb site and have tons of time to bait out all of Fury's utility. Clear that downstairs area. You can see SiNister are worried this is a trap. It's like, we never get Garage for free. What is this? There's got to be some cheeky thing. So Copper's going to open up into Garage, and this is looking good, but they need to keep up this pace. 1:30 left is probably only just enough time to waste all of Fury's utility.
The wall will be opened successfully, just eclipsing the halfway point of the round. We did see Fury defend this same side in a very similar situation last time. SiNister had this wall open. They also had the main wall open, and yet they still weren't able to convert the round. So SiNister, they need to try and get in there, try and get towards default, get that plant down. Vicious is at the main wall. He's going to have to go for the run of his life through that crossfire to try and make that position. They need to cover those main stairs. Thatcher probably going to be assigned on that role, possibly Copper, who could be running the ACOG. So it's going to be all up to them to try and deny it. Vicious, rather it'll be Flick with the smoke to try and deny them entry, as Vicious will go for the pop flash. And goes for a very interesting plant right on the main wall. This could work out. They don't know where he's planting the bomb. Fury are completely unaware of his position, but from below it gets denied. Rock impacts, then shoots, but the diffuser has, most importantly, been planted, and it's all up for the retake. It's a 2 versus 2. Luna and Nico need to try and cover this bomb. Luna in such a powerful repel. Nico from below can easily deny. Luna gets 1 headshot, needs to try and get another here as Golden tries to make his way in towards that CCTV room. Aware of her position, but can't hit the shot. And SiNister will take map number 2.
And what a clever way to end it as well. I was harping on constantly about that default take that SiNister were just ignoring. At the end, they push on through, they set up perfectly for that default take, and then they move on and plant in the most unsuspecting location. What a game from SiNister, and we see both of these teams take the full 3 points for their maps.
Yeah, looking at the scoreboard there, poor Vicious on
Poor
the donut.
Vicious.
He got the win, but unfortunately for him, he didn't have the best of best of results.
He was plant boy, right?
Yeah, he was just, get the bomb just going.
Yeah, get the diffuser, get it down. I mean,